Hey everybody, I hope you're having an amazing day. Today, I want to help you with what's next. And there's a lot that goes into this, so bear with me, because there's aspects of a lot of different things that come into this equation of what's next. For all of us, it doesn't matter what country you're in, it doesn't matter who you voted for, it doesn't matter what race you are, what gender you are. It doesn't matter. It's what's next. And the biggest thing is that's up to you. It's completely up to you what's next. And when I say that, for those of us that have woken up spiritually, okay, you have come to realize that externalizing your power is the limiting belief, the brainwashing, the mind control that we've been taught all our lives. So you've been taught God is out there. Jesus is out there. You have no power. You're waiting on Jesus to come back and save you. You're talking to God out there. But we have come to realize that that's not the case. God is here. We are all extensions, all expressions of the one divine. So it's the same thing when you look at the election. It doesn't matter who won. When you realize that you are an extension of the divine. Now, yes, Trump won, thankfully, because he can help clear up some of the corruption and some of the nonsense that's been going on. However, I hear so many people or see so many people putting all their hopes and faith in Trump has to win, or, the country's going to be over, or life is going to suck, or whatever. Well, the thing is, Trump is one person. Trump is not the end all be all. He's not perfect. Nobody is. And when we come to realize that we have to take the power ourselves for our existence, we know that he can help perpetuate the situation to become better. But if we don't step into our power and our divinity, in 4 years, we're going to go right back in the same spot that we've been in all along. And it came to me this morning because I was talking to a friend of mine, and it's like seasons. There's a season for everything. And we're seeing the shift in seasons. And if I don't know what part of the country you're in, but where I am, we have definite seasons. Okay, in the spring, you've got everything is green, everything is growing, everything is blooming, it's being born, it's fresh, it's a beginning. And then you kind of go through, and as the year goes on, things start dying off. The leaves this time of year start changing colors, they start dying, and the trees basically look dead because there are no leaves. And all the leaves have changed color and fallen off. And if you look at fall, this season of fall, you can look at the beauty and see that it's just a season. It's just a phase. It's what has to happen in order for the new to come back online. So, and if you have to clean up leaves, you understand that it's like one day everything, the leaves, I'm looking out my window now, it's like one day the leaves are gorgeous. They're beautiful. They're reds, they're golds, you still have some green, they're yellows, they're oranges. And then it's like almost, not literally, but almost overnight, you have bare trees and brown leaves on the ground that you have to go deal with to get them off your yard. Well, that's kind of where we are. We have gone from the beauty, I mean, this country was amazing. We got comfortable with the amazing, and we allowed negativity to step in, and we allowed things like greed and anger and fear and judgment and division to come in and control us. And this has happened over a lot of time. And what we're seeing play out right now is fall and winter. Because we're seeing the changes, and we're seeing the things dying off and going away. And it's getting kind of ugly. And it's going to get more ugly. But it's how you look at it. So when you can focus on all the dead leaves in your yard and get, frustrated because you have to go clean up all the leaves. Or you can focus on, you know what? It's all good. It's a phase. I'll clean them up. The yard will be beautiful. And the tree will be ready to bloom again in spring. And that's what we're going through now is the fall. Literally, it is the fall of the corruption, of the control. Because as this demise of the corruption goes away, it's not a pretty picture. You've got inflation, you've got everything that's going on, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. So what's next is looking at the bigger picture. Don't get caught up in the fact that prices are going to go up. Stock market's going to crash. It already has basically crashed. The money's going to go, the fiat dollar is going to go away. Don't get caught up in that. Just see it as part of the next phase. See it as a beautiful thing, because once that's done, once the fall has happened, spring can happen, and it's going to be beautiful again. It's beautiful now, watching this transpire. And, you see the people that you can tell who's still paying attention to mainstream media, because they are beside themselves upset. And what I have to say to that is, the ones of us that have woken up and get this, give them grace. Send them love. Because, and this is the other part of what I want to explain to you and help you with. Because personally, I remember years ago when I was the old me, I never understood why. I didn't feel like people liked me. I didn't feel like I was worth anything. I was a cold-hearted bitch. I was just angry. I didn't really see it. And I would ask people why. I remember having a conversation with my, at that time, my first husband before I married my second. I was like, what's wrong with me? And he's like, Pam, you have an angry streak in you. You can be extremely hateful and judgmental. And I just kind of blew it off, and I didn't hear it, and I didn't, it just didn't, that saying, and I never get it right. So it's one of two ways. You either hear something but you don't listen, or you listen but you don't hear it. Regardless, it's just noise to you, and it doesn't sink in, and it doesn't set with you. It didn't set with me until I almost lost my daughter. She hated me. She just would not speak to me. And I went through, and the combination of that and so many other things put me in my dark night of the soul. It wasn't until then that I realized that I needed to change. And I needed to become, I couldn't fix everybody else. I couldn't change everybody else. I needed to change me. I needed to work on me. And then things started shifting for me. But I still had, because my husband now has told me numerous times, he said, you have a rage in you. He said, it's scary. And I remember back when I did I was doing hypnotherapy to try to heal me. And I met that side of me. And she scared me. I told my hypnotherapist then, I said, I don't ever want to cross her. She is mean and nasty. And yeah, she is like your worst enemy. So I never wanted to cross her. But I still had parts of her in me. And if you saw my last video, there's stuff going on with, it's a blessing. It's a true blessing with my things that my husband's going through, things that I'm going through, but it's positive. It's amazing. Anyway, this time that I've had by myself, because he's staying at this place for his healing, has been amazing. Because even though, the old me, when people would say I was mean, or I needed to stop saying everything was stupid, or part of me wasn't hearing it. And I just let it go. I didn't care until I cared. And then I shifted. And him telling me, you have rage in you. And it's like, yeah, I know it. But it's like, okay, whatever. It didn't hit me until this past week. And I woke up, and when you are open to change, when you are open to becoming a better person and really truly letting go of what no longer serves you, the universe has amazing ways of getting your attention. And I woke up one morning, and these thoughts, these visions were playing in my head of things, of where my words, because words are extremely powerful, and I teach this, I know this, words are extremely powerful. But sometimes you don't see it until it's brought to your attention. And the universe was playing these scenarios in my head, and it was like, oh my gosh. And I got to feel the feeling of hurt that I inflict on somebody else. Now, don't get this confused with, how do I word this? You can't make somebody else angry. You can't make somebody else upset. You can't make anybody else happy. What you say, it's It's how they interpret it. Okay. However, every word you say carries a vibration. Every word you say carries a power, whether it's a positive power or a negative power. So when you can step back, and I told my husband, I said, I never intend to hurt you. My intention is not there. Before, I couldn't have cared less. If I hurt you, so what? Get over it. Move on. Now, I'm not there. I don't ever intend to hurt somebody. But it has become such a pattern for me to just say things without realizing they're hurtful. And I had the blessing to go through this situation where these feelings were coming in of hurt and pain. And I got to see the other side. I'm not even going to say it wasn't fun. Because when you get to the point where you can see things from the bigger picture and you know everything happens for a reason, you don't judge it. You don't hang on to feelings. You don't hang on to the trauma or the drama or whatever it is. So these feelings were flowing through me. I wasn't hanging on to them. I wasn't letting it get me down. It was like sitting in a movie, and you feel the happy, you feel the sad, you feel the whatever, but then it just goes. However, when it's your life and it's your scenarios that you've played out, and you are the creator of your existence, and you're watching the movie that you created play out. And you get to sit back and watch the emotion and feel the emotion of the other person and feel the pain that they've gone through their whole life, or the trauma or whatever it is. And then you play those scenarios, then you see you step into the picture and you see the way you speak to people. Not with the intention to harm, but things that you say are harmful. And when you when you come from a place of love, whether it's a family member or just somebody on the street, you don't know what that person's gone through. And it's not for you to fix, but it's not for you to judge either. And that morning, when I experienced all of this, I was like, I don't want to be that person anymore. I saw, it was like the wake-up call. It was like it really, the hearing, the listening, whatever it is, hit. And I understood. And it's like, now is the time, and I've said this, and we hear this all the time. Now is the time to let go of what no longer serves you. Let it go. Well, that is a part of me that's no longer serving me. It never did serve me. I don't know why I had it, but it needs to go. And I've released it. And I've told my husband, I said, I want you to help me with this, because I don't ever want to hurt him. I don't ever want to say anything that makes him feel, it's like, why am I bothering? Why am I trying? Nothing ever makes her happy, you know? So I don't want to, I choose not to be that person anymore. And when you come to that place, and everybody's different. Whatever it is for you, I don't know what that is for you. But now is the time to really step back and say, what is that message that I keep getting over and over and over again? Maybe it's time I fix it. You know? Maybe look at it. Is it serving you? If it's not, find a way to let it go. Because does that mean I'm going to be a pushover? No. Does that mean I can't still be the warrior, the protector, I have to let the divine masculine go? It has nothing to do with any of that. But the mean, hurtful, just, there's a word and it's not coming to me. It's just ugly. That part serves no purpose ever in the past or will ever in the future, because it doesn't come from love. Whether it's a fear that you're fearful of this rage, or it's a control thing. For me, it's a control thing. I've worked on control for years. This is a control thing for me. Let it go. What do you need to control? You only need to control you. I only need to control me. And this goes back to the part with the election. People that have not woken up yet, it's not their time. They haven't heard it. They haven't realized it. It hasn't set with them yet. It's not for us to judge that. It's not for us to try to make them see our point of view. They're not going to see it. I didn't see it until it was time. I didn't wake up until it was time. I didn't see that part of me until it was time. They won't see it until it's time. Just have patience. Send them love, send them grace. You can try to explain it, but it will only sink in when it's meant to sink in. And for some people, it won't sink in. And that's okay. It's our ego that judges whether that's a good or bad thing. Because you look at, in the ego realm, we look at, okay, look at the last 4 years. Inflation's gone up, all these illegal people are coming in, all this nonsense is happening, okay? How is it impacting you? At the end of the day, it just is. It's how you choose to look at it, and it's what you choose to focus on that impacts you. So it doesn't matter who is in office. It doesn't matter anything. It's how you choose to look at it and you choose to deal with it. And for some people, it's really hard. And for those of us that have expanded our awareness, look at it from the place of God, because that's where you are. When you come back to the remembrance that you are part of the divine, and you can look at the situation from God's point of view, who isn't judging anything. Everything is an experience. Everything is perfect. Is it always fun? Depends on how you look at it. It depends. Again, it's your choice on how you look at a situation. You get what you focus on. If you want to focus on the negativity and the fact that everything is so bad, that's all you're going to see. But when you focus on the positives and the blessings, and it doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter what your situation is, it can always be worse. So be thankful. They say there are worse things than death. Sometimes it's living on this planet. So it's a choice. It's a mindset. Find something to be grateful for. And as far as what's next, that's up to you. It's 100% up to you. Nobody can make you feel anything. That's up to you. Your life, your existence has been up to you. All of it. And once we own it, I had to own the fact that I was mean and I was hateful and I was angry. And people weren't in my life because of the way I was. Not because of them. They chose not to deal with that. It's not against them. I had to own the fact that I still have that shadow part of me. And that's why it's called shadow work, because nobody wants to look at the shadows. You can be as enlightened as you think you are. You can be as you will always have something to work on. You're never done. That's what evolution is. You're evolving all the time. And I say that out of complete love. That's not a judgment thing. That's not I know if you had told me that back in the beginning, I would have felt defeated. I'd have felt like, why bother? But I see it now as a blessing. I had to own the fact that I still had that part of me, that ugly part of me. You have to own that and be okay and not judge it. Send it love. Thank it for the time that it's been here, because it served a purpose somewhere. So, but then let it go and change it. You know, some of these things are habits that we have to break. Ask for somebody to help you. You know, just like this habit that I have. It's just, I'm hoping it's gone. But when it raises its ugly head, my husband is there and probably more than willing to help me get rid of it. But both of us will benefit from it, because I won't say harmful, hurtful things. There's no place for that. Ever. Ever. I don't care what the situation is. And I thought about it this morning and I just kind of laughed about it. I'm like, did it ever serve me? No. Is it where I learned it? I have no idea. Why I learned it? I have no idea. I don't know. But it's like, being hateful is never of service. Let it go. So anyway. Oh, and people have asked me, okay, so, you know, and we see how the mainstream media plays into this. Yeah, if you're looking for an alternative source than mainstream media, watch things like Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan. People like that. You know, mainstream media has kicked them out, or they have chosen to disconnect from mainstream media for a reason. You know, when you can get away from that, the mainstream media, you're going to be a whole better person. Because you're not going to listen to the brainwashing, the mind control, the nonsense. So anyway, I send you guys love and light. I'm continuing to evolve. And what's next is going to be beautiful. It already is beautiful. Again, it's heaven on earth, if that's how you choose to look at it. Even with all the craziness, don't focus on the craziness. Focus on you. And do what makes you happy. That's where we're supposed to be. So anyway, yes, there are people out there that are falling apart because Trump won. They're still stuck in mainstream media. They're still stuck in the lies. They're still stuck in the brainwashing, limiting beliefs, and all the nonsense that they've been fed. Again, is Trump God? Is Trump like the end all be all? No. He is the same God as you are, as I am. He's of the same God. So yes, in that matter, he is the same. And so is Kamala. She has just chosen to take a different path. And, you know, some people see it, some people don't. And if they haven't seen it yet, it's not their time. Give them grace. You know, as the leaves continue to fall, as the corruption continues to fall, it's going to get uglier. But by the same time, it's beautiful. It needs to happen. And mark my words, they will blame Trump. But it needs to happen. You know, there are people that won't be happy no matter what. I told my husband this morning, I said, even if Harris had won, those people would still bitch and complain about something. You have to find the happiness within you. Some people just aren't happy no matter what. Don't let that be you. So I send you love. I send you blessings. I send you strength. Because looking at this part of you is not fun. So anyway, but you can do it. You are part of the divine. We will talk soon.